In 2020, Argentina scored their first win against the All Blacks with an inspirational performance from their skipper.
It's not respect.
Yeah,
I'm playing for my country.
I understand
That's
that.
not respect.
But
2 weeks later, the All Blacks responded in kind, taking that one comfortably 38 points to nil. Fast forward 2 years and Argentina get another historic victory in New Zealand with another inspirational performance from their skipper.
might be the skipper again.
However, 1 week later, the All Blacks yet again responded with ferocity, winning the game 53 points to 3. We cover detailed analysis on this channel, but it is very clear that in today's modern game, there is still a place for passion in performance, and ultimately, the team that wants it the most comes out on top. Kia ora everyone, my name's Zach, I love rugby, welcome back to Hakatime Rugby. What a difference a week makes. The All Blacks take that one comfortably, 53 points to 3, scoring 7 tries in a dominant display and a dominant statement. I mean, they really were backs against the wall in this game. I sort of opened this talking a little about the place of passion in rugby, and it just showed that when the All Blacks do have their backs against the wall, when they have more to play for, they can come out with performances like that. It was a real contrast between last week's game and this week's game. Last week, the All Blacks were forced into errors throughout the game. That's been a hallmark of the season this year. Has been significant handling errors in the backs. And Argentina were able to take their chances in key periods in the match last week and were a little bit more clinical with the ball in hand, scoring tries and ultimately winning that game last week. But the All Blacks bounced back. So very, very few handling errors, which was a big reason for the victory here. It seems that the All Blacks perform even better with ball in hand in wet weather rugby, which is a big surprise. Perhaps there's a little less pressure on them in doing so. But it's clear that they came out here really wanting to make a statement and were able to do that early. So on the other side, however, Argentina were continually forced into handling errors, weren't able to build momentum and in key phases, and as a result were constantly giving the ball back in the first half. First try, Ethan de Groot gets over the line, and that was really built about by the pressure that the defense was building, and also just the All Blacks playing a lot more direct. That was a hallmark of this game. We saw a lot more variation in the back. We saw more kicking options from Richie Mo'unga, more contested kicking from both Mo'unga and Havili, and we saw a little bit more of a dynamic in the centre pairing. I thought they performed absolutely outstanding, Havili and Ioane, in basically game managing this match, whether it be the chip through, whether it be the right option, running and attacking from deep, from close to the line from the midfield. We just saw why the All Blacks have started to elect more towards a smaller midfield that gives you playmaking options and ability to kick, whether it's from 10 or 12, Havili or Mo'unga. So fantastic work from the All Blacks there. Let's talk about the big boys up front. So they continued their dominance, really laying a solid platform at set piece. The All Blacks were perfect with their lineouts and able to win a couple off the throw. And that's becoming a bit of a hallmark of this All Blacks team. The lineout is really, really potent with jumping options. Obviously, Sam Whitelock leading and calling the various lineouts. Scott Barrett's fantastic at lineout time, and so too is Frizzell. So they've given themselves 3 solid line-out options. And what they also get from Tokeaho, who once again goes close to man of the match honours in this match, he's really having a fantastic season this year, is that he's continually throwing straight, throwing accurately, and able to give the All Blacks real momentum just from winning and dominating set-piece time. The All Blacks scrum, again, was solid, rock solid, and able to get some ascendancy. They didn't get as many scrum penalties in this game, but it was very clear that from a front row perspective, they were dominating, or at least setting fantastic platform for the backline. And that went a long way to some of the variation that we saw from the All Blacks backline. So we saw Mo'unga kicking in behind, whether it be little chips, little kicks over the top, or kicking for deep. We saw David Havili doing a similar thing. A number of times he chipped through, other times he kicked for the corner. And having that variation between 10 and 12, I think, is exactly what Foster has been trying to build here. There was a lot of criticism around whether it's Beauden Barrett in there as game manager, whether it's Richie Mo'unga, and it was somewhat unclear to see what they were trying to achieve, particularly when defenses were putting the All Blacks pivots under a lot of pressure. But we can see now that they're really looking for opportunities to provide variation in attack, whether it be to run, to kick, or to pass. And we're seeing that on great display right now. But we'll talk about the front row a little bit here. So I thought what was interesting is that we still saw the two props go off around about the same time, the substitution, so 45-minute mark, 48-minute mark. However, Tokeaho was left on, and that was a big criticism from me last week, is why would you take the best player on the field off at the 45-minute mark? They spoke about wanting to have that front row from the Crusaders continuity in at the same time, that there were niggly injuries from the props, and that's the reason they rotated the whole front row, including Tokeaho. This time they let him on. He was able to provide more impact for a longer period of time, which we were all calling from last week. So that was probably an error last week from the All Blacks, and great to see them rectify that. Now they did go ahead and score 7 tries, so obviously Ethan de Groot was able to get across the line early, and that was just fantastic setup from Aaron Smith, and I thought he did a great job of finding the right player and making the right decision at the time during the match. So there was that try for Ethan de Groot, where Jordie Barrett was running the dummy line, and he skipped Jordie Barrett, went straight to de Groot, who was, he had very little work to do to get over the line there. He did have to beat one player, but the defense collapsed in on Jordie Barrett, and that left Ethan de Groot open really for the try there. And another instance of Aaron Smith's decision making, there was a blindside play where he was shaping to kick from the box kick, but instead of kicking, he threw it out. They tried to get Jordan into the match, and he was able to make a break for a 20-30 meter gain. So, and that was another interesting factor I thought in this game, is that they were really looking for opportunities to get Will Jordan and Caleb Clarke into the match to provide some impact. So they've obviously got a number of set plays that they're now working for the wingers, and that has been another criticism that I've had for the All Blacks. We've got wings that are just sitting out on the wing, not getting involved with high work rates as we typically see them at Super Rugby level, and certainly it just meant that the attack was somewhat stagnant in games that the All Blacks have lost this year. They elected to get them more involved in this game, and that was fantastic because we saw a lot more variation in attack. As I mentioned, the game management, the kicking game from Havili and Mo'unga, and then we saw those sniping runs from Will Jordan and those blockbusting runs from Caleb Clarke as well. Fantastic work there. It was also a much improved performance from Sam Cane, so he was involved in a number of great tries, whether it be him throwing the last pass to, say, Rieko Ioane for the second try, as well as he was involved in a great interplay with David Havili and himself to make various breaks in the second half, and to keep the All Blacks getting over the gain line. So he also had a fantastic hit on Kremer, I think, completely folding him there, which was really, really interesting to see. He is a big unit, doesn't often get dominated in the tackle like that, but great work from Sam Cane. So one of his better performances. Great to see him getting a round of applause from the Waikato crowd there, obviously his home crowd, for his performance on the match. Interesting that they're still electing to take the All Blacks captain off the field around the 60-minute mark. We saw Dalton Papali'i come in, and I thought the makeup of the substitutes was fantastic. You had Brodie Retallick, Dalton Papali'i, and also Beauden Barrett coming on, within a short period of time. And those are 3 real high-impact players. So I think Beauden Barrett has probably found his role now as part of this, All Black setup. I think, coming in with real impact from the bench is a fantastic option for him. He can cover a number of positions there in the back line. And also we're just seeing some of the skills that Richie Mo'unga brings there in terms of game management, in terms of decision making, and also, scrambling from deep, which we've seen Beauden Barrett do, but great to see Richie Mo'unga able to pull that out as well. A number of times he scrambled, we got the ball wide, and we were able to get some, territory gain, whether it be breaking and running from deep, or whether it be kicking the ball, with a lot less pressure on him. So great work from him there. And for Argentina, they will be disappointed in their result, particularly, coming off the fantastic win that they showed last week. It's really hard to get up with that level of passion 2 weeks in a row. So we did see, they were getting dominated somewhat in the collision. That went a long way to the All Blacks dominating the gain line. They were forced into errors significantly, which was something we did not see last week. Because of that, they weren't able to build either territory or possession advantage there, and they just lacked cohesion as a result of that as well. What's going to be interesting is how they bounce back against the Springboks. Springboks obviously playing right now, so we'll see how their performances go. But they do have an opportunity to play one of those games at home. They'll be going home to a hero's welcome as well, based on the performances and the heroics that they've done so far in this Rugby Championship. And we know that anything can happen, right, as we look towards the end of the Rugby Championship. So all teams are in with a shot. I think the All Blacks really put themselves in pole position now with that bonus point victory. They're going to be hard to run down, but Australia are obviously playing well right now. We'll have a lot of confidence depending on how today's result goes as well. And there are opportunities to claw back some of these results with 2 games remaining. So I'm super excited about the closure and the completion of the Rugby Championship. I hope you guys are as well. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give me a like. Subscribe to the channel because we cover, all sorts of rugby games, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. And, as I mentioned, I'm Zach. I love rugby, and I hope you guys enjoy the rugby from here. We'll talk again soon. See you guys.